come and brew with us. This is RNG Tea with Christine Kooky Solis and Sarah Skopik.
It's locked
with your random sips of life and gaming.
Hello again, this is RNG Tea. I am your host, Christine Solis, aka Cookie, and I'm joined by my co-host, Sarah Skopik. How are you doing today, Sarah?
I'm doing well. Are you doing okay?
Oh my god, I don't know why I stumbled. It's another episode 3, our first episode of 2020. Welcome to the new decade. Are you ready?
I hope so. I don't even know.
You have a big event coming on later on this year. I know that.
Later, like 10 months later. I have a wedding. That's much later. We'll get to that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But first, again, we stream our episodes live here on twitch.tv/RNGNT. Give us a follow. We are getting very close to Twitch affiliate. We would like to reach that. We are at, it looks like 29 followers, and we need 50 followers. Which is not bad. It's not bad. We just started.
We're over halfway, so that's pretty good.
We just started this channel about a month ago, and we've been streaming. Sarah, you've been streaming yesterday. What were you streaming yesterday?
I was doing more of a Plague Tale Innocence, and I am currently eating my foot because I sped through the first 4 chapters in about 2 hours, and it took me over 2 hours to get through 2 chapters this time. So that's how well it's going.
I heard you were a little frustrated last time.
I got frustrated and I got to rage quit.
Oh, you did rage quit. What happened?
I mean, it's just a part that I'm overthinking it. It actually probably isn't that difficult, but I'm overthinking it. I want to be completionist about it. And it's just the last stretch of this chapter. And it's an open, like, you kind of choose how you want to do it. And the problem is that I'm trying to do it, but it's probably the harder way, and it's just not working, and it's getting me mad.
Anyway, it's okay. When's the next time you're going to stream it?
I'm not sure, but probably going to be either a Tuesday night of some time or probably like a Saturday night, but hopefully a Tuesday. That usually seems to work out pretty well for me, but I'm not sure exactly when.
Sounds good. And then Lloyd also has been on our channel as well. He's been streaming some late night Overwatch or Tales of Symphonia still. I don't know. It's always during midnight while we're sleeping, so if any of you overnight zombies out there, tune into our channel when Lloyd streams and keep him company.
Yes.
And I've also been streaming as well. I'm going through The Last of Us remastered on the PS4, which I got frustrated because my card capture is not doing anything right on my computer.
Oh no.
So, I wanted the whole nice overlay and whatnot, but I can't get it on right through the game capture card that I have, so I got
technical
frustrated.
difficulties, the name of the game.
So I was like, whatever, let me just use the PS4 streaming thing that they have. It's so basic, and I'm like, whatever, I'm playing a game. So I'm going through that game. So again, follow us at twitch.tv/RNGNT. Follow us, turn on those notifications, and help us reach Twitch affiliate, and we'll get some cool emojis into this channel as well. Maybe you can get a Sarah face, a Cookie face, a Lloyd face.
All the faces.
All the faces. And again, we love for you to join us in our discussions. We do read the Twitch chat and comments, as you've heard in our previous episodes. So we have Heartslot Dark Flux is here for the first time, catching us live. They're talking about some Overwatch stuff that me and Sarah are not into, but I know Lloyd knows everything about it. And don't forget, yes, we will learn. Anyway, we'll talk about it later. Also, don't forget to leave us a review. I don't think I have it up officially yet on iTunes, but I will soon.
Yay!
The whole Apple thing does not do well with me. I'm an Android person, so
I understand completely.
Apple is so expensive.
Yes, literally the only reason I have any Apple technology is because of the iPod, which means I had to get iTunes way back in the day, and that's about it.
Do you still use that iPod, by the way?
No, absolutely not. It doesn't work with anything anymore. The battery life is 2 minutes. And I did at one point get like the last iPod they ever made for my car, just because I didn't really want, at the time I didn't want to put a bunch of music in my car,
Right.
and that doesn't even work with my car anymore. So it's just a lump of a little tiny piece of technology that doesn't even hold all my music. So that's great.
Oh, how technology has evolved.
Indeed.
Anyway, we are going to start out our episode with a couple trending video game headliners in the beginning of 2020, and we actually love these headliners.
Yes.
So they actually warm our hearts. For the first trending video game headline we want to talk about is Man hijacks Portland airport monitor to play video games until the airport officials declared game over. So if you check this out, if you type in video games and look up the news, you can actually find this article. It shows up several times. You literally see this guy sitting on top of his suitcase with his PS4 plugged in into an airport monitor that shows all the departures and arrival times, and he's playing Apex Legends.
Wow. That game of all games? I'm just teasing. Is that still popular?
It is. It is.
Okay, I can't tell.
I have to admit,
yeah.
that's ballsy and
Yes.
a hero among us gamers.
That is the hero that we do deserve, actually. Hero we all need today. I think my favorite part about this is how non-news it became, because
I know.
the officials went up to him and very politely said, "Please unplug." And he said, "Can I finish my game?" Very politely. And they said no.
Aw.
Yeah. So he could not finish his match, and he had to take it away and probably put it back in the suitcase and move along.
Right. Dark Flux in the chat says that's dedication, and that indeed is dedication, and I would never thought of that idea as well.
I didn't even know you could do that. I think what's kind of weird to me is how easy it is, apparently, to just use the screens at the airport for your own uses. There's a lot of damage that could be done with that. The
That's
least
the
of these, which is video games.
Well, props to him in Portland.
The Portland man.
The Portland man. And the second trending video game headline of 2020, which we absolutely love this even more.
Oh, yes.
Texas gamer saves teammate in UK after hearing him have a seizure. Now, I know a lot of us, video games now it is more online, and we speak to a lot of gamers online, and we've never met them at all. But hearing someone actually having a seizure, and you have you're smart enough to call the ambulance and say, "Hey, this person over here
In another country.
Exactly, in another country is having a seizure. Please help."
Yeah.
That's
exactly.
amazing.
Yeah, and the family of the person in the UK who was going through this, the parents had no idea. So unfortunately, if it hadn't been for the gamer in the United States, nothing would have probably been found out until, I don't necessarily too late, but till a lot of damage could have been done. So it warms our hearts and shows that yes, even online relationships can be very impactful and even life-saving.
Yes. Yes. Oh, gamer love. We love you all.
Yay.
Anyway, those were the trending video game headlines that we love to share today. We love to hear stuff like this. So the reason why we want to mention this is because in our next episode, we're going to talk a little bit more about the bad stuff in video games called, I can never say this word,
Toxicity.
Toxicity.
I gotcha.
I put out a tweet earlier. I'm at Cookie Persona at Twitter. I put out a tweet this past week saying, I'm afraid to play League of Legends because of all the toxicity that's out there. Toxicity, says Lloyd.
Darn it. No, that's what I do. There's a difference there.
Yeah, and it's the same with Overwatch. Like, I want to say I really am afraid of playing League of Legends or Overwatch because of all the toxicity.
Yeah.
And we want to hear from you guys. Email us, tweet at us, whatever. what are your experience with toxicity in video gaming? I know I can come up with a couple. Sarah, can you come up with a couple?
Thankfully they're unfortunately pretty old, but yeah. I had some online bullying and getting hit on in MMOs, which is actually part of the reason I kind of was turned off from MMOs for a very long time.
Right. But again, we'll talk about that next episode, in episode 4. So please stay tuned, subscribe to us, and then send us your experiences and we can read them here on the podcast. But what we want to talk about are the delays that are happening to video games.
Delays! Speaking of airports, delays!
Delays, exactly. So last episode, we talked about all the games that were coming on this coming spring on 2020. So we had Final Fantasy VII Remake was going to come out on March 3rd. And Marvel's Avengers is coming out May 15th. But Square Enix advised that they are pushing it back. So Final Fantasy VII is actually going to be April 10th. Marvel's Avengers is going to be September 4th. And another delay, Cyberpunk 2077. Sarah's like going crazy. Her hands on her head already. Cyberpunk 2077 was supposed to be April 16th, and now it's going to be pushed back to September 17th.
No. I don't mind it's being pushed back. I'm okay with pushbacks, but why up till September? This is terrible news for me because that is going to be right when I'm in the thick of planning my wedding. Literally, my fiance said today we should just push back the wedding. That was a discussion.
Whoa.
And I said, no, we're not doing that.
For a video game?
No, I mean, thankfully it was not a serious discussion. I hope at least. But I said no. We put all this money down. I ain't pushing it back now. But yeah, no, it's being pushed back. Like, that's 5 months, though. It's pretty significant. What's worrying to me with Cyberpunk 2077 is there has been evidence of some saying that, no, our workers are still going to be working overtime to put this out, the crunch issue, which just makes me super sad. Unfortunately, I feel like right now it's kind of impossible to really support your favorite games that have not had issues with crunch. At the same time, it's very disconcerting.
We are pretty worried about that because I know that's probably going to put up another news headline about video game developers and possibly unionizing them.
Yes, because, hopefully sooner than later.
Yeah, these long hours suck, but I think the video game, the top corporate people would need to figure out these deadlines and like figure out the best possible the real release date, not just say, hey, it's going to be out here this spring, or hey, it's going to be in fall. Like, can't you gauge how your developers are working on this game?
Yeah, I never really quite understood that myself. You would think, especially in a company that some of these companies are huge, long-standing companies that still seem to get it wrong, and it still seem to elicit all this crunch. The main example I just always will never forgive and never forget is I'm a big KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic fan, and the sequel was developed, and they had also been forced to basically release by Christmas time. And so the game, for those of you who played it, was not even finished. There were sections of the game that just weren't even finished because they were so forced to push it out. So on the one hand, I appreciate that now we're kind of in a world where at least pushing back games is not seen as a bad thing. At the same time, they still just can't seem to get the whole, get the due dates right because of crunch time. I don't know. I agree with you. It's kind of ridiculous that they can't estimate that these days.
Yeah, like, what's wrong? Like, are you not talking to your workers? What's going on?
Probably not.
Because I know Animal Crossing was delayed too, so I know it's coming out March, but originally they said February was supposed to be the release date, but I don't know. They might delay that too.
Yeah, Yeah. I think what's also just interesting is how many delays we're seeing right now. It just seems a little unprecedented, but maybe I just have been out of, maybe I just haven't seen it as often, but this seems like a lot of delays all of a sudden.
It does.
I'm wondering what, and part of me, at first I kind of was hopeful that maybe it was to try to prevent crunch, but unfortunately with the news from Cyberpunk, I'm not so hopeful about that. So I don't know.
Which is really, like, yes, they're pushing it back from April to September, yet they're still time crunching it.
Yeah, that's 5 months. That's almost half a year. So it's just kind of worrisome and wondering with Cyberpunk, I'm wondering what's kind of really going on. With all the other games, it is very surprising.
I wonder if they're like adding more stuff, like gain more popularity because of Keanu Reeves.
Maybe what they had, because the only reason I'm not so sure is because these are the same people that made the Witcher series, and Witcher 3 was a huge game, but I also do not know how long it was in development for, because all three of those games took a long time to come out. So yeah, maybe they had kind of a smaller scale idea, and now it's gotten super popular. With anticipation, so maybe. And and Darkflux is giving a good suggestion that it might have some pressure on them because of all the Witcher hype.
Maybe
because of all the show that's going on. They're not making a Witcher game, but people are going to be. There's probably been a lot of people, my brother included, who's now been replaying the Witcher series, and now everyone's wondering, okay, this game made the Witcher series, which Witcher 3 was very, very good game. Now let's see what they're going to do for Cyberpunk. So maybe.
Omega Welltall also says, I hear they're also making a multiplayer for the game.
Ooh, that could cause some issues, yeah.
That'd be an interesting game.
That would explain the 5-month delay if they weren't originally going to do that. Because I would hope you would, because to be honest, that at least is a little more honest about how much time they would need, because there are some games that have tried to mash in a multiplayer in less time with horrific results. So,
but that brings up that question again, like Cyberpunk 2077 is supposed to be a single player game. Mm-hmm. Do all single player games have to have a multiplayer function in it? Because Uncharted it was supposed to be single player. The Last of Us was supposed to be single player, but they added like multiplayer into it. Like same thing with Tomb Raider, they added a multiplayer to it. Why?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, I think unfortunately it's just because it's been right now one of the most popular models of keeping a game alive. A single player game, once you buy the game, that's it. Your sales are only from when those people buy the first original game. You don't get there was that whole thing about resales and stuff that they're trying to fight because they don't get the money from that. But multiplayers come with other costs, other upkeep costs, other, standard monthly costs to it. And so that's it's the gift that keeps on giving, because more people, if people are interested in your multiplayer, they're going to keep paying to keep using it. So then you have people that buy that $60 game and then pay the $15 a month to continue with the multiplayer. So from a financial standpoint, big corporates love multiplayer options. It's just very dumb.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. I mean, they were fun like the first 10 minutes, but after that I can't keep playing it. Wolfie says that multiplayer was delayed until 2021 from one of their Twitter feeds. So yes, there is going to be a multiplayer function.
Interesting.
If they made an MMO about it, maybe that'd be better, but I don't like the whole shoot 'em up type kind of multiplayer thing.
The problem is that you're making two very, very different games and very different game experiences. And I get it, but I just feel like you're stretching your ideas too thinly, if that makes sense.
Right.
And I don't know. I think about Mass Effect 3. They also had a multiplayer option that was kind of a cool idea because it actually affected your single player game and stuff like that. And there was a logical reason in the game lore why there was a multiplayer section of the game. There's a big war going on. But the problem, I don't even know if people still play that for good reason, because it did only really affect your single player experience. And honestly, there wasn't, unless you really liked the multiplayer game, there wasn't much of a reason to continue doing it once you were done with the game. So, I don't know. Unfortunately, it seems to me the whole multiplayer option is another example of how big video game corporate heads just don't really get it.
I don't know. Do corporate not get it anymore? I mean, there's also news that PlayStation dropped. PlayStation is actually not going to show up at E3 2020 this year. That would makes it the second year of not showing up at E3, one of the biggest video game trade show of the year. I mean, does that mean E3 is going downhill, or does that mean that PlayStation's just not interested whatsoever? What is going on, PlayStation? You're killing me because I really love you and I really wish you were at E3, but why?
I mean, what that tells me is the first year when they pulled away, because didn't they have their own presentation later or something like that?
No, they didn't.
Oh, okay.
They used to have this thing on their own called PlayStation Experience, and that wasn't... Their last PlayStation Experience was in 2017. And then they had their E3. They had their E3 at 2018, and then last year they didn't have one, and then this year they're not going to have it either. So
did they not do any kind of presentation anywhere about their stuff?
No. I mean, they were here at CES at Las Vegas, but all they did was reveal the PlayStation 5 logo. Surprise!
Yeah. I'm amazed. Are they really not ready to reveal anything? Because they revealed stuff at... Didn't they reveal stuff? Was it the Game Awards show, or what was that? No, I'm thinking of the Xbox Series X. They presented something.
Yeah, that was the Xbox Series X. But other than that,
that's what I'm
all they do is exactly what Selfane says. All they have is their state of play, but they haven't done a state of play in like forever. Well, I guess maybe a month or two. But all they did for their state of play was Resident Evil 3. Oh yeah, that was last month, to announce Resident Evil 3. Other than that, I don't know what's going on with PlayStation. I don't know if it's because of the changes that's been going on with corporate, or Lloyd says in the chat, E3's been going downhill since they opened up to the public, which is
that's what a lot of people been saying. Yeah.
That's another true fact there. Like, E3 originally was just a trade show just for developers, just for press, just for media, just for developers.
And that's become more of a convention, I guess you could say, which are two different things. That is true. It's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. It's funny because E3 is usually seen as the big thing, but now it just what we're kind of seeing is a lot of businesses that are potentially just gonna say, nope, pull out of E3 and do our own thing, leaving what for E3? Eventually, E3 is gonna be like the indie developer heaven, I guess, for video games. Which, hey,
I mean, it'd be cool. I mean,
but like not what it was meant to be, for sure.
Exactly. So I'm kind of afraid, but at the same time, I do hope that if PlayStation does do their own thing, hopefully they do another PlayStation Experience, because I've had so much fun with the PlayStation Experience. I do hope that they reveal more about the PlayStation 5. I know they're going to have their own exclusives and stuff, except for Xbox Series X that will not have any exclusive first-party games at launch. What the heck is that?
What?
How are you supposed to compete with PlayStation?
What are they thinking? Do they have any... What?
This doesn't make sense, because these are two big consoles, next-gen consoles supposed to be coming out later this year. Xbox Series X will not have any exclusives, yet PlayStation will have exclusives. What's the better buy already?
Yeah, exactly. Why would I buy a why would I buy an Xbox Series X? What? That's so weird to me. Did they say, like, listen, we're not going to have that, but we will have? But I haven't heard anything like that. I am so confused.
Maybe...
No, it's going to be a computer.
No. I'm still going to get a PlayStation 5. No. Well, besides PlayStation Heart. But it's just weird that they're going to go that direction. I mean, the only exclusive that they will have is probably the Hellblade 2 that's coming out.
Okay.
Wait, unless that's coming out on PC too. So that's not really Xbox exclusive. So that doesn't make sense.
They are dying on the vine. I mean, it's kind of, maybe I'm the dumb one here, but it just really seems like Xbox is just purposely trying to do things into a dumpster fire. I mean, their new system, the way it looks, it's not quite the size of a computer monitor, but it looks like one.
It's a mini fridge.
Yeah, it looks like a mini fridge. It's big and bulky, and looks like if you even spilled like something on it, it's just gonna break in half. There's no games coming out, like no first-party games coming out. Are they being sabotaged? Xbox, are you okay? Do we need to call somebody? Blink once for yes, twice for no.
Where's the competition in that? So we're instantly going to buy a PlayStation, obviously. Darkflux says, I have a PC, so I have no reason to ever buy an Xbox. Xbox technically does not have exclusives anymore because now it's all Xbox and PC.
It's true. Wow. What are they going to do?
I have no idea.
I mean, the thing is that, to be fair, the Xbox kind of came out as, you didn't have to have a PC to do it, which is why a lot of younger kids could play on it. I mean, dude, I remember in high school so many arguments with people saying the Xbox was the best or whatever. And so it had that thing going for it, but with the way that they're doing it, it just doesn't make sense. I don't get it.
No. Selfane is asking, anyone heard any info about the supposed Nintendo Switch Pro? No, I have not heard.
Nope. We got the light version, but no, I have not heard anything besides this was a while ago, but when they released the light version, they also released an updated of their normal version, which had better battery life.
Right.
But other than that, I have not heard of a Pro yet. They've been pretty quiet about that kind of thing. I'm not sure if they're actually doing anything yet for it, if anything.
Speaking of Nintendo, did you hear about the new Smash character?
Yeah, I did. Everybody's so mad, and I don't care.
You don't care? You love it because you play Fire Emblem.
I love it. I love it. I
it.
want their tears make me thrive. So Byleth, which is basically the main character for Fire Emblem Three Houses, is the new Smash revealed character.
Oh no.
And I do feel, okay, here's the thing. Logically, I do have to admit it is kind of ridiculous how almost like a third of their roster is Fire Emblem characters.
Right.
It seems a bit much to me,
yes.
Especially since 4 of them are they're not total reskins, but they're very similar to each other in movesets. The ones that I think make the most sense are the main PC characters because they are very unique. But other than that, I was actually, like, I wasn't surprised, but I was surprised they decided to do it. But it did make me laugh at all the hype of it. Was it Dante they thought it would be? Anyway, yeah. Someone else. And
people thought it was going to be Dante from Devil May Cry because he came out with Devil May Cry 5. I mean, come on now. It makes sense.
It does, and it's just another Fire Emblem character. It's so funny.
Oh no.
Oh, it's so funny to me. I'm sorry. It cracks me up. Like I said, logically, I do think I kind of want to go like, really, Nintendo? But on the inside, I'm still like laughing in delight, and I kind of want to play. Actually, I usually only play the Fire Emblem characters when I do play Smash.
When you play Smash, yeah.
They're the ones that I like. So, what you gonna do? I'm very curious how they're gonna have Byleth go. I'm very curious about that. So yeah, it's great. It's so funny.
Darkflex says that Nintendo announced that they are going to have 6 more characters in the works, though.
It's okay. 3 of them are going to be the main house characters from 3 houses. Listen, 3 houses. There's 3 of the main characters, so we already got half of them figured out, guys.
Oh, Sarah's rolling in victory.
Oh, it's so funny to me.
But if you were to pick a new character, who would you pick? Besides a Fire Emblem.
Besides Fire Emblem. If I could pick any character, it would be someone from Undertale, for sure. Sans would be cool, even. I go for Frisk.
An actual, not like the me character.
Yeah, not like the reskins. Yeah, an actual, like, character from Undertale. That would be my top pick. Or, I don't think they can... But I remember for years I was wishing that they would do Phoenix Wright characters. They did it in Capcom versus Marvel,
but
they've never done one in Smash. I would love that if they did Phoenix or if they did Edgeworth or anything like that.
Very good. Lloyd says Goku in Smash.
Oh!
That'd be interesting. They have to contact like Bandai Namco.
They have a lot of people to call.
Someone said, or Lloyd also said, Sora from Kingdom
Hearts. That would, yeah, that would be interesting. A Tales character would be cool. I haven't played a ton of Tales games. The only Tales game I ever played was Tales of Fate. Gosh, no, Tales of Tales of Grace. Sorry.
So many
of Grace is
tales.
F. There's a lot of Tales
I was
games.
like, how many tales are there?
There's so many. Tales of Grace is F. That was I played like an updated version of it. But yeah, for sure, I would think Lloyd, the character Lloyd, would make total sense to be in Smash. That's from Tales of Symphonia. That would be fun.
Darkflux says, let's get Reinhardt in there for Overwatch. You know, that'd actually be a cool one. I actually know the Overwatch characters, so
yes,
that would actually be very cool to have in a Nintendo Smash game or Doom Fist.
For sure. Who would you pick?
Oh my gosh. I just had one, but Omega Waltoff says Doom Guy from Doom. I would love Doom Guy from Doom. Wolfei says Monster Hunter. Wait, they gave all the weapons to Blade.
Listen, because Byleth is awesome.
Byleth. I call it Byleth. What did I say?
Byleth.
Byleth. Okay.
They don't actually. I don't think they actually really, because you can change your name, so the name's never set in game. But I've always said Byleth. But maybe that's wrong. It's fine.
Yeah, let us
Listen,
know.
I may be enjoying this a little too much.
I can tell
because there's been only one Persona character that's been put in, and a bunch of Fire in the piece, like the player character Fire Emblem characters. There's 3 of them in Smash, and you can make them male or female. So I may be enjoying this a little too much.
Yeah, I can tell. I can tell.
Oh man, too funny.
Anyway, also, so continuing our talk about consoles. So how did that happen from Nintendo Switch Pro to the Smash?
Segway!
Oh, hold on a second. Almighty Pinecone, who we're going to be talking to later in this episode, he suggested Knight from Hollow Knight needs to be in Smash. That would be a really good one, too.
I forgot that they're not already in Smash. Yeah, for sure.
That would be a good one. Anyway, so about consoles dying. So we're all going to get PlayStation 5. We're not going to touch Xbox Series X.
No.
Nintendo Switch Pro, maybe, depends if there really is going to be one. We have to find out what the details are about that.
I don't know. I don't play my Switch to a pro degree to feel like I'm going to need a pro version unless it's really something special. So I'll be curious to see if it actually comes out. Right now, Nintendo's certainly not dying.
Oh no. Nintendo's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad they're back into the kind of sort of portable way-ish. I mean, you can take your Nintendo Switch anywhere. I think that's the best part about that, and they did well with that. What about this Google Stadia? I know you have one.
We have 2, and they have not been touched.
Since launch?
Since launch. Because they're not mine. They're my brother and fiance's. They bought them, and they have not touched them, which is kind of a problem because they had gotten that, like, free, version, whatever, what do you call it? Like, they don't have to pay money per month yet. But they will soon. It's just really, from what I understood, kind of the lack of games, and like you have to, pay for games, and they didn't really have a ton of choices at the time.
Right.
And I don't think the concerns about our internet issue, I don't think is as big of a concern for us. But that was an issue.
You have unlimited, right?
Not quite, but it's Comcast, so it's unlimited maybe.
Got it.
So, but from what I've heard, I don't think that's quite big the issue. But right now, it's just they don't really have there wasn't really a ton in the library. It plays very well because I saw it played. It plays fine. It just right now there just isn't a reason to do so. Apparently they are set for more than 120 games, 10 exclusive soon. So I'll be curious to see what that means.
I'm kind of curious too how that's gonna work. What kind of games?
Yeah. Currently, I do not regret my decision to step away from that. I'm sure I will see if I do regret that, and if I'm like, give me the controller. We'll see. It really does depend on their exclusives for sure. I mean, that is what sells a game console to me. And right now, Stadia kind of is feeling like a game console right now. It doesn't really feel like the next generation of gaming yet.
Right.
So we'll see. I would have, if I hadn't heard that news, I would have probably been like, nah, I don't know about the Stadia thing. But I will wait and question mark.
We'll just have to see what games are coming out for that Stadia system. There's a fight going on in our Twitch chat right now at twitch.tv/RNG Tea. Omega Wotal says Shining Force is greater than Fire Emblem.
My fiance would agree with you. It's just that which has right now made more games.
That's a good debate right there.
I really can't even get into this debate. I didn't play the old Fire Emblem games. I played when the new ones started and got super into them that way, which they're very good games.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the thing. So maybe the old versions, I would have been like, yeah, the old Fire Emblem sucks. I couldn't tell you, but they're very similar kinds of games for sure. But yeah.
Almighty Pinecone says Earthworm Jim into Smash, which would be really good. They did. Speaking of consoles, the Intellivision, Amico Vision is supposed to be coming out. Amico, yes. I believe that's what it's called.
That's by what?
Intellivision.
Case.
You met him.
I did. Okay, I'm like, I'm about to be wrong
oh
about
my
something.
Gosh, Sarah! You met the CEO of Intellivision.
I did meet the CEO. I forgot his name.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Sarah and her fiance went to a show called Video Games Live.
Yeah.
Awesome. He is also the CEO of Intellivision, Tommy Tallarico.
Tallarico, yeah.
Yes.
Yep. He's awesome, by the way.
Very, very awesome. So they're coming out with their own console. Hello, Intellivision. Later on this year in October, called the Amico. They're pushing for, couch gaming, have fun with the family friends. Yeah, they're specifically, because we interviewed.
Specifically, it is the kind of that bringing back the family, and so their games are not going to really have any kind of gore, or I don't know what he said about violence, because that's such a, so many common rated E games have violence in it, so I don't really know where he's going to put there. But yeah, the whole idea was very much family friendly only, playing together on the couch. So nothing that's super violent, super vulgar, super sexual, things that you can, play in a family unit. So I'll be curious to see how it goes. He's very, very confident in it. So we'll see. He is
very confident. That's all he's been talking about, which is great. Yeah. We love him. We love Tommy. The reason why I mentioned him is because he also did the music for Earthworm Jim. So
he did.
So hopefully we'll see what goes on with the Amico when it comes out. I'm still kind of confused how it works out, because the picture of it looks like two iPods together with
unfortunately, I'm not even sure if he really explains the system to us, so I couldn't really answer that question either. I feel like I'm going to have to wait along with you with bated breath.
Lloyd says pixelated gore isn't really gore, is it? I don't think so.
Listen, if you saw, I still remember what constitutes rated M back in the day. That would be a hard rated T nowadays, because it was not that well, the graphics weren't quite there yet. Dude, was it Shinobi? Yeah, Shinobi was a game my brother bought for the PlayStation 2, and I wasn't allowed to watch it. I totally did anyway, because it was rated M, and that was because you fought demons. And there was blood splatter, but it was also when you cut the demons in half, it had gore, which was just a mottled, black and red inside. So,
Yeah, the pixelated blood, little dots of red, and you just...
It's more of the content. There's a difference between the violence of, say, Crash Bandicoot or Mario versus Halo. Very different kind of violence.
Yeah, makes sense. Anyway, so that's our gaming topics for this podcast. Next, we're going to talk to Bill. He was actually Almighty Pinecone in our Twitch chat. We're going to talk to Bill, find out what's going on in the world of DnD. And we're back. And we're going to talk about some D&D. Last month, or last episode, we talked about having a new D&D campaign right here at twitch.tv/RNG Tea, and we put up a form on our website at rngnt.com if you want to come join us for that. Today we have Bill, aka Almighty Pinecone, aka Bob, aka Ben, as Sarah said earlier.
I'm sorry.
Bill will be our dungeon master for this new D&D campaign we're doing, and I have no idea what we're going to be doing. Bill, how are you doing today?
Doing all right. I had a bit of a rough day, but that's just because, kids trapped in home. Not really couldn't go outside much because of snow, but we did build a snowman, so it was fun.
Do you want to build a snowman?
Build a snowman.
No.
Oh, come on.
He's a parent. He hates the song.
I know, right?
I hate so much stuff.
Did you watch the second one, Frozen 2, yet?
No, I have 3 boys. We're
Oh.
not gonna go see Frozen 2. No, I
Oh.
take them to go see good movies like Detective Pikachu and Into the Spider-Verse.
Those
That
are good
works.
movies, but
Yeah.
Frozen's still a good movie. Anyway, move on from that.
Right, so Bill's going to be our new dungeon master. Apparently, you've been a dungeon master for 8 years, is that correct?
on and off for 8 years. I haven't always just been dungeon mastering. It's more of like along the lines of everyone wants to play, no one wants to control it. So
Yeah.
I'm very loose with rules.
Mm-hmm.
Because of that, because I'm like, you know what, if you can BS your way into saying this is a legit way to roll it, I'll allow it, because I'm here for fun storytelling environments.
Okay.
I do a lot of RNG stuff. One of my longest campaigns, we did this, I call it the Secrets of Nim game, where I homebrewed a bunch of stuff with a friend of ours, mine, and we took them, so instead of humans you were squirrels, instead of elves you were rabbits, instead of gnomes you were moles, and they went on this huge adventure where they were fighting the rats, and
So good.
their boat gets attacked by a catfish, and that's a dragon, and they were going to go get the magical medicine over in the old farm from these 2 dragons that were red and blue pills, and they were supposed to be just Tylenol, and fun stuff like that, where yeah, it was a real fun one, because I was going to have this whole thing set up where it kind of fell apart because everyone couldn't make 4 or 5 sessions in a row. So that's how it always goes. Always
Yeah.
goes wrong. But the whole story was going to be that the rats would wake up an elder god that was going to be a crocodile.
What the heck is going on?
I love it.
So it was the idea of how could you make D&D into critters,
Uh-huh.
Yes.
and how you play from that. And I specifically stressed them that if you were going to do magic items, think of a way that would work in the world. And one of my good friends, instead of magic missile, he said they were magic mosquitoes, and he was a snapping turtle from the swamp, so he would just open up some moss on him and mosquitoes would shoot out. I was like, this guy gets it.
I love it.
So
That's
I'm
super
all
cool.
about creativity in games.
Wow. Okay.
That's important.
That is important, but I feel like I'm not going to be very creative with
So
anything.
here's the thing. In this, what we're playing, which by the way, I don't know if you've told everybody what we're
No.
playing yet.
Go ahead and tell us what we're playing.
playing this. This just came out by Free League Publishing from one of my favorite series of all time, Alien.
Mhm.
And it is a fan's dream. This book is amazing. It's super simple to play. It's super easy to make a character. Lloyd's whipped up like 50 characters, I swear by now.
Holy moly.
He just goes, yeah, no, here we go. And one of the guys that's playing with us, he like literally, I was talking to him while I was at work, and he goes, here's my character. I'm like, how long did it take you to do? 10 minutes. It's not hard, and it's very customizable. And it's also a very easy system to play, because the problem with D&D, I always tell everybody who's trying to start up, like normal D&D, is making your character is a pain. It is number crunching and deciphering what everything means, and like, oh, I have an 18, which really means like a +5 to this, and this. It's just a big, and it's a lot of number crunching. In this one, if you have an 8, you're gonna roll 8 d6s, the normal die. That's it. And if you get a 6, you succeed. If you don't get a 6, you fail, and nothing really bad happens, because the game specifically says it's okay to fail.
Oh,
Kinda
interesting. Okay.
And then the other thing is they've added this mechanic called stress, where stress isn't always a bad thing, but it can if you have too much.
Gotcha.
So if you say Cookie, you want to shut the door, right?
Mhm.
because something's running down the hallway.
Right.
And I'm like, all right, you have two choices. You can try to manually shut it, and you're gonna have to use, I think it's called like heavy machinery or something like that, or you can try to splice into it and use comms tech, which is like tech stuff. Whichever one you want to do, whatever you have a higher score in, you roll it. You don't get a 6. You can say, I'm going to push this roll, which basically means you get to pick up all your dice again, add 1 stress dice, which is different from the other one, and you roll all of those. So if, like you said, you had an 8, you'd roll 9 dice. And the only thing you have to need to worry about the stress dice is that if you don't roll a 1. If you roll a 1, bad things happen on the stress dice.
So kind of like Snake Eyes is bad. So
Yes.
1 is bad here.
If you roll a 1 on stress dice, a panic roll happens, and the more stress you have, the more awful things can happen.
Gotcha. Interesting. Okay.
Where it's like, I can read some of them for you real quick. I have like a little shorthand rule book, I think somewhere. Nope, I can't find it. Never mind. Where it's like, you basically, if you roll panic, you roll 1d6, and however much stress you have adds to the roll, and it's like, nothing happens. You drop whatever item you're holding because you're scared. You run away in panic. You scream. You go catatonic. You attack the nearest thing near you, friend or foe, or you just pass out. Which, when you're getting chased by a terrible monster from H.R. Geiger's mind, don't want to pass out.
Yeah,
That's usually a bad idea.
Because you're gonna die. But then, I mean, so does that make sense to you guys? I can talk for hours on this. I don't want.
Oh no! I know you can. But again, I'm very, very, very new to D&D, so I'm like, okay, so you're talking about dice, D6, which is basically a regular 6-sided dice.
Yep.
Yes.
Do I have to hold some dice on my own? Like, do I need to buy some dice? Like,
No.
for someone who's coming into D&D, do they have to buy their own dice?
If you're ever playing in real person, yes, you'll have to buy your own dice. Usually you can sneak away with just buying a single set of D6, where D&D's gotten really like luxurious now, where people are buying like $40 dice.
I've seen.
Don't do that.
Just got one recently. My fiance came back with opalite dice for me,
Yeah.
which is very, very pretty, but very expensive.
So I came from college when I learned D&D.
Oh, you got the crown bag!
I got the Crown Royale makes this wonderful dice bag for you.
It's true.
That when you
Thing.
buy it, they give you free alcohol.
Yeah. Exactly. It's crazy how that works out.
It's so weird. And it's like, you go anywhere, you can buy a dice set, which will comes with like your normal set of dice. That doesn't have to be super special. You pay like $10 more.
Okay.
Like, and they look pretty and stuff like that. But like, I'm not into the whole luxury stuff. I mean, yeah, some of the dice looks really nice, but you don't. And if we're playing online, one of the sites we'll probably use, you just type in a command and you roll your dice for it.
Yeah.
So you don't need
okay.
to buy any dice for this, unless you really want to go raid a couple of, risk board games for your D6s.
Yeah,
which
I usually just use online rollers these days if I'm playing online.
Yeah.
A lot of the games I play these days use what's that called? Special dice, basically. The special dice because it's Fantasy Flight.
Yeah.
So we just kind of bought a set that we all share between and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
for this, they're just D6s. Google has their own D6 roller.
If I think we're going to use the thing we're going to use, you can just literally type in /R.
Yeah.
X amount of like 5d6, and it will roll them, and it'll show you all the results.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all we need, because
It's
you
all
need to see
good.
if you roll a 6 or you didn't roll a 6, and that's all.
Okay. So those who are just actually listening to the podcast only, you were holding an actual Alien RPG
Oh, yes.
D&D book. I guess it was released just last year, December 10th, 2019.
Yes, it's made by
Oh,
Free
wow.
League.
Uh-huh.
And I have been eyeballing it since July.
Oh,
like
wow.
they sent out like the Kickstarter, like the pre-order thing, and a couple of YouTubers got a hold of like their like, if you pre-ordered it, you got an early campaign one-off material, because this game has 2 sets of play: a one-off cinematic where it's supposed to be more like a movie,
Mhm.
and then a campaign play which is more spread out, like your casual, like, hey, we're getting together today to do D&D. What's going to happen with our characters that we are building?
Got it.
And they specifically stress in this book like how to set up between the two, because I was like, how would you do
Interesting.
a campaign play for this when the creatures are so deadly?
Right.
Yeah.
You as a DM has to make sure you don't use the alien that often. So if you're expecting to tune in like, hey, they're going to fight an alien today, probably not. We're gonna save it up for a big moment because these creatures are downright deadly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
They have to be.
They
to
have
make
to be, and
sense.
that's kind of where like the whole because they have this whole system set up to make it a horror game. Because like the stress dice, yeah, you're rolling like 20 dice, but if half of them roll ones, bad things are gonna happen, and you build up stress really quickly because they're like, this is how you can gain stress, and this is what happens. You run into something you can't explain, gore, blood, you're under pressure, things can build up really fast, and you have to like ebb and flow with these to make it very scary. I was doing a one-off and Lloyd's in it, and straight up I missed one roll on a PC, but I rolled something else for because the alien doesn't actually have like I'm gonna do this with the alien. No, you have to roll a dice to see what it does.
Mm-hmm.
And for the PC who was like investigating the body that just got chest bursted, it just hissed at it and it ran away. But then an NPC walked in, and I rolled for that, and that NPC got murdered right away because it just how it rolled, and I was like, that could have been you, dude. He's like, I am terrified right now. I'm like, as you should be, as you should be.
Anyway, so we're gonna be playing this Alien and D&D. Is it just gonna be a one-off, or are we doing several sessions? What are we doing?
We're gonna do several sessions. You guys are going to be a part of. I've opted to do for funness and kind of like how to build it. Space trucker campaign, because in the campaign mode you can pick a couple of like scenarios on how to do things. You could be a marine ship doing like marine stuff, which fine. But then when I started looking at like some of the scenarios, because they have like all these scenarios in there for like what you can do as a DM to keep things interesting, reminded me of Firefly, and I was like, who doesn't want to do a Firefly campaign?
For
Who
sure.
doesn't want to be Mal? So I was like, you know what, that'd be fun. And then I started building this very loose story because I like to build a hook and then leave it up to you guys what you want to do.
All right.
And
sounds
occasionally
good.
just kind of pull you in direction.
I'm excited. I mean, it's gonna be my
Yes.
very first D&D game.
Yeah.
So we are gonna actually be starting this D&D campaign early February or sometime
Yes.
next month. I know it really sucks. It has to do with my schedule because my work's. It's my work.
I work second shift, so
Yeah.
it's like if it was like a Monday through Friday, I would have to start at 10, and even then I'd be really
I would
tired.
not be able to do that because I'm an old lady.
Same.
Yeah.
And it's just with this game in particularly, it's not very focused like D&D is. It's not very like mechanical, like we pull out a map and you move X amount of squares. It's
Yeah.
very, do you want to get closer? Do you want to back up? A lot of talking between characters. So if you have a good character base idea, that's all you need. You shouldn't be worried about playing this. You should be worried about being murdered in this game.
And making up a new character, probably.
Yeah, you can build a new
So
character
have
really
character
fast.
ideas.
Yes, have character ideas. Because that's the other thing. It's like if somebody rolls really bad and things go sideways really fast, well, I guess we need a new science officer.
Yeah,
Put out an ad.
exactly.
Yeah. All right. So the list of players who we have, myself, we have Sarah. Again, Bill is going to be our DM. Sunny is a good friend of Sarah's.
Yes.
We're going to have Skuro. We've talked about Skuro a bunch, and you'll actually get to hear him now here. And Lloyd, the producer. So that's 5 players, plus Bill. I was going to call him Ben again.
Sorry.
As
Could be
the
a thing
DM.
now.
And Bill just brought his little kitty cat.
And we all-
Alien.
I was gonna say it's Jones.
Yeah, this is actually my cat named Jonesy because
Oh my gosh.
when we adopted him, my wife was like, "What are we gonna name a big fat orange tabby cat?" I'm like, "I'm gonna name him Jonesy because I love Alien."
He looks exactly like that cat too in the movies. Okay, what do we need to bring? Do you already have a sense of what characters we need to be? Because Sarah usually plays a rogue. You and I don't
I
really
play
know
that.
each other, so what do you think I would be?
It's just pretty much whatever you want to be on this ship. If you think you have the PDF that I sent you, so
Yes.
pick a class. That class doesn't mean it's your job. If you want to build a commander-esque character, you can be the second in charge, and you could be the communication expert. You could be a pilot. You could be the medic. You could be the science expertise. You can be a mechanic. You can be whatever you think would fit on this ship, because you are essentially just space truckers making drops here and there throughout space. And I'm going to come up with fun scenarios for you guys to mess around in. some mostly negotiating, things going awry, shipments going down. You might run out of gas sometimes. I don't know. So just whatever you think this ship needs, but be warned, occasionally you might run into an extraterrestrial.
Yeah. Yeah. Scary.
Yeah, that might be a
Like
problem.
this guy.
Oh my god, no.
Whatever you think fits on this ship, come up with an idea of a character, how you want to play it. Just know that you will have all known each other, because this isn't your first, time out on this ship. You're not new, unless you want to be the new person. That's fine. But whatever you want to be, okay? Just kind of build around an idea that you like and build up from there. Think of quirks. In this, they talk about having like personal agendas. That's how you kind of like going out of your way to do your personal agenda can give you XP so you can level up more. And it could be as simple as making sure you get paid. You'll go anywhere to make sure that the shipment is good, that you'll get paid. Or maybe you stick by the rules. So it's like, I'm sorry, Stardate code says we can't let you in because you have a possible infection. Would you go out of your way to keep somebody left out in an airlock to die because you don't want to break it in there? So think about things like that.
Yes, after watching the movies, yes, you're staying out.
Yeah. You want to listen to Ripley because she's a BA.
Which I think what I love about the fact that we're doing Alien, I've never done this, obviously this is brand new, so I've never actually done this role play type before, so I'm pretty excited to try it out. But I think it's great for our show because Alien was always revolutionary for having a female action figure
Yes.
lead in the actual show, and I did a lot of reverse weird psychology on things when it came to gender roles in there, so it's pretty great. I'm very excited.
It's one of my favorite series of all time, and it's why someone's like, we need more lead female ladies. Yes, we do, because we need more people growing up thinking that, you know what,
Thank you.
it's just fine, because I didn't think there was a problem. It's like, what are you talking about? There are amazing female ladies. Why? We need more of them.
Exactly.
It's just I grew up thinking it was the norm, so I never thought anything of it. You had Sigourney Weaver and Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it just was. Buffy the Vampire Slayer was there.
Yeah, and then it
Xena
just
the Warrior
drops.
Princess.
Princess Mononoke.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah, for sure.
Female characters.
Yeah. Anyway, stay tuned for that. Again, we really appreciate you for joining us, Bill, for doing all of this. We're excited. We can't wait. I know there are other people who wanted to join and have applied to us. Stay tuned because we are still going to do even more D&D campaigns, so stick around. We're going to do that after the Alien game, of course. Again, check us out at rngnt.com. We're going to be posting our D&D sessions there, as well as if you want to, submit an application to start one over here at RNGNT. Gosh,
there you
darn
go.
it.
You'll get it.
Got it.
My own podcast name, and I couldn't get it. Anyway, that will do it for tonight. Thank you again for staying with us until the last drop. Stay tuned to our social media. We are at RNGNT on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And again, our website, rngnt.com. You can follow us on our social media as well. Again, I'm at Cookie Persona on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Sarah, where are you at?
I am Sarah Skopic, SarahScopic, also on Twitter, technically on Facebook. Just say hi to me on Twitter.
And Bill, do you want them to find you?
I don't really use Twitter that much, but my Twitter handle was me, myself, and Bill. And if you ever want to look at some of the old stuff we did, which a bunch of my friends, we used to have a YouTube podcast called Over a Couple of Drinks. They're talking about trying to get it back together. So.
Oh, that sounds like a cool thing. And again, join us on our Discord. We're going to be talking more about the D&D stuff on there as well. And anything that you want to talk about. This last weekend was actually pretty lit in our Discord.
Yeah! Who would have known me being like, should I play Skyrim? We're kind of quite the discussion going.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't help on that one.
It's okay.
Anyway, again, thank you for staying with us until the last drop, and we'll see you until the next episode.
This episode was produced by Christine Solis, Sarah Skopic, and Aaron Pillen. Please support RNGNT by sharing this podcast with your family, friends, and fellow gamers and leaving us a review. Intro music in this episode is by Home and outro music by Stupidoken. Check out both these artists and their music at soundcloud.com. RNG Tea and its hosts are solely responsible for its content.